At the break of dawn, with the sun just peeking over the horizon, we arrived at the windswept hillside. This was a place where wild boars frequently roamed, wreaking havoc on the local crops. The ground was still marked with their footprints, and the scattered signs of digging were stark evidence of their destruction. This hunt was not just a test of skill, it was a mission that had to be completed. Today, we would find out if we had the guts to stop their destructive march right at their own doorstep. Follow our journey as we take you into the heart of the hunt. About 30 minutes from our starting point, we reached the hunting ground. The moment we stopped at the ridge, I caught the faint musky scent of wild boar lingering in the air. And just minutes later, the ground trembled. A sounder of wild hogs emerged in the distance, scrambling up the hillside. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle and fired the opening shot. The herd scattered in a frenzy. My second round found its mark, hitting one squarely as it clawed at the steep slope. It slipped, tumbled, and crashed down the hill. Seizing the moment, I squeezed the trigger once more. The beast was down for good. The scene opened in utter chaos. Did you feel the intensity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We have to take down the rest, the team leader ordered. Without a moment's pause, we spread out, pushing deeper into the vast terrain ahead. We took position from higher ground, a perfect vantage point with a clear view of the entire area. Then suddenly there, a dark figure darted through the thick brush. I raised my rifle instantly. The distance made it a tough shot, but there was no room for hesitation. Boom! The gunshot echoed across the hills. The animal jerked mid-stride and collapsed on the spot. To be sure, I pulled the trigger once more. That final shot ended any hope of escape. Only then did I exhale, knowing for certain that the target was out of the game. At that very moment, another sharp gunshot cracked through the air, echoing across the hillside. Turns out one of my teammates had just come face to face with another boar, and this time at close range. The massive hog burst out of the underbrush like a gust of wind, desperate to escape. But unlucky for him, he ran straight into the line of fire. The shot hit dead center, right through the flank. The beast staggered, then collapsed to the ground. It thrashed wildly in a final, hopeless attempt to get away. But it was already over. Clean, precise, another crop destroyer taken out of the game. We pressed on, determined to wipe out the remaining beasts. Suddenly, rustling came from the brush right beside me. No doubt about it, something was there. I readied myself to strike. The moment its head emerged, I pulled the trigger. The shot hit, but the animal stubbornly dragged itself forward, refusing to go down. I couldn't let it get away. Another round rang out, sending it into a panic. Then came the moment of truth. My final shot hit the vital spot, ending any hope of escape. These creatures are tough, no doubt about it, but with focused precision and unshakable resolve. We do what we must to protect the harvest and keep our people safe. We got word of movement up north, possible hostile. Without wasting a second, my team and I rushed toward the area. Just a few meters out, I locked onto the target. It was creeping low through the brush, trying to stay hidden, but not hidden enough to fool me. As soon as half its body came into view, I fired. The shot connected, but the beast fought back, crashing, scrambling, trying to bolt. I wasn't about to let it get away. I released the hounds and gave chase. It was wounded, no way it could get far now. Just as expected. Within minutes, the hounds' barking erupted, loud and relentless, a clear sign they had cornered the target. I approached without a hint of hesitation. The wild boar was exhausted, completely spent, no chance of escape left. To ensure absolute safety for the villagers, I left nothing to chance. One final shot, clean, precise, and decisive. Ended the reign of the feral brute. Tonight, the villagers can sleep in peace, no longer haunted by the threat of rampaging wild hogs. As our hunt on the hillside came to an end, we finally breathed a sigh of relief. The vicious pack of wild boars had been wiped out, no longer a threat to the crops or a source of fear for the local villagers. Every action was carried out within the bounds of the law, with one clear purpose: to protect the peaceful lives of the people. If you enjoyed this intense and action-packed journey, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next thrilling adventure. Few people truly understand what it feels like for us each time we step out onto the fields at the break of dawn. We're not here for thrills. We're here to protect the harvests of the local people. Seeing cornfields torn apart by wild hogs. It hurts. Every inch of this land is built on the sweat and hard work of farmers. That's why every time a shot rings out, we're not thinking about our personal passion. We're thinking about the peace and security of this entire region. Today, we face a serious challenge. Wild hogs weighing over 200 kilos, stubborn and dangerous. But no matter how tough it gets, we will face them head on, because behind us are the crops, the people, and their way of life. Join us now as the hunt begins. In the early morning hours, deep in the wild mountains of Turkey, The wild boar hunt officially began with the crack of the first gunshot echoing across the grass-taken fields. There it is, a massive, powerful boar charging head-on toward my position with full force. I quickly regained my aim, held my breath, and pulled the trigger. But no, the boar suddenly veered off in another direction. Still, it was too late. My second shot rang out sharp and decisive. The wild boar took the hit and crashed hard into the ground, falling with such weight that I could feel the impact from a distance. One clean takedown to kick off a long, challenging day ahead, fighting to protect the harvests from these destructive beasts. We pushed deeper into the area where the brush grew thick, the perfect hiding spot for these wild hogs. Suddenly, the heavy silhouette of a boar appeared through the cover. With a single pull of the trigger, the target was taken down cleanly and precisely. The hunting dogs were barking fiercely, closing in fast, while the boar now faced the consequences of the destruction it had caused to the local people. A clean, impressive takedown, don't you think? Let us know in the comments below. On this side, the prey unknowingly ran straight toward its fate before it even realized what was happening. My teammate John was already in position, locked onto a fast-approaching target. With lightning-fast reflexes, he took the shot, catching the wild hog off guard. Its momentum broke instantly, and after the second shot, the beast collapsed to the ground. And just like that, the hunt came to a successful end. The hunter had claimed control over the prey, and peace was restored to this land once again. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the day came to a close, night fell, but the hunt continued in the stillness of the darkened sky. Visibility became more challenging, but our hunters stayed sharp, using thermal scopes to clearly identify targets in the shadows. And then there was a massive wild boar, casually enjoying its evening meal, unaware that it had entered my danger zone. In a flash, the shot landed. The target was hit clean and brought down swiftly. A beautiful moment, fast, accurate, and absolutely flawless. The night hunt continued in another corner of the terrain. A herd of wild hogs swept past the lens, and then another clear target appeared, perfectly framed from the distance through the scope. Boom! A sharp, decisive shot rang out. It was so quick and clean that the hog didn't even have time to react before going down. That's the law of nature one follows, so that many others may thrive. What about you? Did you think that was a fast and precise takedown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're always listening. It was well past midnight, with dawn slowly approaching. The final gunshot echoed through the stillness of the night. A wild boar collapsed motionless on the field, gradually fading into the early morning mist. The wild hog's unconditional surrender marked the end of our mission. Every target had fallen, and silence returned to the land. The hunters let out a quiet sigh of relief after a long day of relentless pursuit. What they brought back was more than just the trophies, it was peaceful people and the protection of the harvest. As the first light of morning broke through, it marked the beginning of a tense and focused hunt where every shot needed to be precise and decisive. An entire day unfolded deep within the wilderness, pushing the team's focus, skill, and endurance to the limit. When night finally fell, the last shot rang out, declaring the mission complete. Today's success wasn't just about skill or luck. It came from the flawless coordination and teamwork that held strong from dawn until dusk. The crops are safe, the people can rest easy. Stay with us as we continue this journey. More thrilling and emotional challenges lie ahead, waiting to be conquered. I still vividly remember the feeling every time I set out on a new hunt. It's not just a journey to track down prey, but a battle of wits between the hunter and nature. In this land, wild boars are nothing short of the enemy of farmers. They destroy crops and trample fields overnight. That's why my team and I decided to head out in the midst of a snowstorm, armed with rifles, hunting dogs, and razor-sharp focus. How many beasts will we face today? And will I maintain my composure to bring them down like I have in the past? The journey officially begins. We moved up the mountain slope, our breaths billowing in the cold morning air. Before long, we spotted a group of wild boars digging in the distance. I decided to start the hunt with a shot. Bang! The entire group scattered in a panic, with one wounded boar stumbling behind. The long distance and thick trees forced me to move closer. The prey was struggling to escape. Bang! The second bullet whizzed through the air and struck its mark, ending all resistance. A promising start, but could this be a sign of a successful hunt? Stay tuned, and don't take your eyes off the screen to continue hunting with us. We decided to spread out, each taking a different path to track down the remaining wild boars. And there it was, right in front of me. Another one appeared within my sights. I raised my rifle, took a deep breath, and then decisively squeezed the trigger. The sharp crack of the shot echoed. And in that moment, the fate of the second boar was sealed. Taking down the second prey lifted my spirits, and I felt more energized than ever. The weather grew more brutal, with strong winds making it harder than ever to follow the trail. At that moment, we decided to call in the help of our hunting dogs. And indeed, just minutes later, my hounds were closing in, pushing the prey straight into the line of my rifle. The opportunity couldn't have been better. I slowed my breathing, aimed with precision. The shot rang out sharply. With just one clean shot, the prey fell. A perfect combination, wouldn't you agree? Meanwhile, on another mountain slope, in front of my teammate Jake, a boar was busy digging under the white snow. He gently raised his rifle, locking in on the vulnerable spot. His finger tightened on the trigger. The shot echoed through the still air. Nothing could escape. The boar froze, struggling to flee, but its legs gave way. That shot could only come from an experienced marksman like Jake, clean, precise, and decisive. The sun began to break through, and the air warmed slightly after the biting cold. This was the perfect moment for the wild boars to come out and bask in the sunlight. And sure enough, from our high vantage point, the entire team spotted a dark figure trudging through the snowy expanse. Waiting for the perfect moment, when the target was fully in sight, I tightened my grip on the trigger. Bang! With a single shot, the boar collapsed with no chance of escaping the line of my rifle. Exhausted, we decided to pack up and head back. However, on our way, a familiar figure suddenly appeared in the distance. Not wasting a moment, I quickly raised my rifle. Bang! The bullet struck the target from afar. As we approached to check, the prey was still struggling weakly, desperate to escape. To completely end any threat, another shot rang out. Everything was over. The hunt concluded with precision and efficiency in every shot. Each moment showcased the seamless teamwork and the sharpshooting skills of the seasoned hunters. More importantly, the entire journey took place within a legal, permitted area, fully complying with the regulations. If you found this adventure exciting, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to follow our future hunting trips. For many farmers in Louisiana, every morning they step onto their fields, and what greets them isn't the lush green of their crops, but a battlefield in ruins. Cornfields torn apart, sweet potato rows uprooted. The deep imprints of wild boars' hooves and the marks left by their dragging bodies carved into the soil like a direct challenge. Even the most intricate traps become useless in the face of their cunning. When sweat and hard work are destroyed in a single night, frustration reaches its peak. And that's why we're here. This is the battle to reclaim peace for these fields. How will it end? Stay tuned to find out. As the first light of dawn breaks, amidst the vast grassy fields, everything seems calm. But through the eyes of a hunter, any unusual movement is enough to set our team into action. The pilot immediately grips the control stick, diving the helicopter down like a hawk swooping in on its prey, creating the perfect position for me to lock the boar into my sights and take it down with a single shot. That's how we kick off a successful day of hunting. Not far away, a breathless chase was unfolding as James' team had to handle 2 targets at once. No easy task. James unleashed a rapid barrage of bullets, and after a tense moment, 1 boar fell. The helicopter immediately swooped in, closing the distance to the remaining target. Then a single sharp, clean shot rang out, pinning the last dark figure to the ground. Do you think that final shot was as smooth as it seemed? If you were the one holding the rifle at that moment, could you stay calm enough to make that call? But if you're not experienced, don't try to follow our lead. The radio crackled, signaling that David's team had just bagged another one. It was a textbook move, using the helicopter's engine noise to break the cover, forcing the prey to reveal itself in the open. The moment the target appeared, David gave it no chance. A well-executed tactic, showcasing the experience of a seasoned hunter who knows how to turn his own equipment into a hunting tool. As soon as the new coordinates were confirmed, we charged straight toward the target. A whole herd of wild boars appeared, intensifying the urgency. Amidst the chaos of the herd, my hunter's instinct told me to aim for leaders. Without hesitation, I unleashed a burst of fire at the 2 largest ones, pinning it to the ground and quelling the chaos in just a few seconds. The ground is their territory, where a wild boar cornered with no escape can turn into an attacking machine with tusks as sharp as daggers, demanding that we stay focused and make split-second decisions. The churned-up earth beneath his feet was like a challenge, leading John to the edge of an unharvested field. There, a wild boar was charging toward it, clearly intent on causing destruction, but he wouldn't let that happen. A single shot, precise and clean, put an end to that foolish plan. The fragile piece of the field was preserved. It was a flawless collaboration, a showcase of the finest hunting dogs in action. They did the hardest part, driving a beast out of its hiding place and guiding it straight into James' sights. The moment the boar's snarling, tusked snout appeared, he immediately stopped the threat with a single shot. If you were him, would your hand shake facing such a massive, ferocious creature at such close range? As the sunlight began to fade, it seemed like everything was winding down, but the wild boars were not. My eyes locked onto a dark shape speeding away. It had seen us and was making a run for the hillside, its last escape route. But my bullet wouldn't allow it, forcing the beast to lie here forever, paying the price for the havoc it had caused. A flawless victory, closing out a hunting day that couldn't have been more perfect. The sun had fully set behind the trees, and the engine's roar finally died down, leaving only a true, peaceful silence. The Jeep Gladiator was now loaded with the fruits of the hunt. I pulled out my iPhone 16 to call the processing plant and a few locals, letting them know there would be a big feast tonight. This wasn't just meat, it was peace of mind for the farmers, a joy for the whole community as the threat had been pushed back. Our journey wasn't over yet, because out there, many more lands still need protecting. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming hunts.